I was unaware that this would be this week's final episode of Assassination Classroom. Like, it didn't dawn on me until this episode was over. Then I realized this was the final episode of Assassination Classroom. So, I guess anime from spring, or, the final wrap-ups from, what aired from winter is finally starting to end. So, this series, Assassination Classroom, I want to do a brief, discussion on, my thoughts of the season. So, obviously, it's been a very fun ride. And if you did not know, there is going to be a Season 2. There is going to be a Season 2 of Assassination Classroom. Assassination Classroom Season 2 is set to air in 2016. Sometime in 2016. It was announced on Anime News. Assassination Classroom Season 2 will be coming out in 2016. So, thing is, okay? This season of Assassination Classroom, I never would have thought I would have enjoyed this series that much. I mean, I heard a lot of talk and rumors and different things about this series before it ever had an anime. I saw a lot of talk about this series, and I always saw, the weekly Shonen Jump rankings and how Assassination Classroom is always near One Piece. And, that's kind of scary. It was beating One Piece Naruto in some weeks, and that's like, what the fuck? Like, oh my god, Assassination Classroom must be pretty damn good to be able to do something like that in weekly Shonen Jump. So, that's what really drove me to giving the anime a watch. Little did I know how similar this series is in some ways, not exactly, but some ways with life lessons, like Gintama. And it turned into its own series that I can truly enjoy. Like, I really love the anime. It was a really good anime. After reading the manga now, after I've read the manga and been looking at this anime has pretty much been panel by panel adaptation. It's been pretty damn good for an adaptation. I mean, normally, when you get an adaptation nowadays, especially on a shonen, especially like something like Assassination Classroom, usually there's rushing, skipping, all sorts of shit going on that's being axed out of the plot. Now, I do know that there's a couple side stories and chapters that were kind of cut out, but at the moment, there was nothing major cut out from the story. So, thankfully, Assassination Classroom, has been adapted properly, and I'm really satisfied just to be able to hear something like that. Now, I know a lot of Chivits are probably going to ask, so where do you start? Where do you start now, since, this anime is done? Like, where do I start in the manga now, since, I finally finished Season 1? If I'm correct, I would say start it from chapter 70? I'd say, maybe 70. Maybe 69, 70, somewhere around in there. I'd say that's the chapter you'd want to start for Assassination Classroom. So, overall, though, I personally have to say, this finale episode, there's not much more I could say besides saying that it was a glorious way to wrap up this season. Like, this entire episode gave you the vibes of, it's over. Like, it's the final episode of Season 1. That's exactly the theme and vibes I got off of this episode, without even knowing it was the final episode. It felt like a final episode, judging by the way it was done, because, it was a conclusion of an arc. But to see how our, MC Nagisa came in and fought that military officer, and kind of used a secret sure kill weapon against him, that right there, the amount of character progression, and how much Nagisa has progressed as an assassin, it really shines right there in this part of the episode, especially getting to see the other E-Class members of the classroom actually growing in this episode. So there was a lot of development taking place, and I mean, I have to say, Assassination Classroom has surprised me to no end, especially with the high-quality anime adaptation. Now, of course, there's been some problems, of course, but I mean, when it comes to the animation music, I think animation has been decent to very damn good compared to some of the things. Like, it looks really beautiful, and the music, oh yeah, the music definitely suits this type of series. I've loved that opening song, I love the ending song, I really love the music and soundtracks they use throughout the entire series of Assassination Classroom, so I don't really have any complaints, so to say. I mean, final episode, badass. Nagisa was a badass. Like, straight up shocking as fuck just to see how he did what he did in this episode. But, yeah, I mean, all good things must come to an end. But thankfully, we will be getting a Season 2 very soon. And, of course, I will be reviewing Season 2 when it does come out. If I had to rate Assassination Classroom, like, if I had to do a good rating on this, like, what would I rate Assassination Classroom Season 1? I'd give it a flat 8. A flat 8 out of 10. Like, that's what I would probably give Assassination Classroom. Like, it's very enjoyable, has a lot of entertainment, and it has iconic characters, especially with, Koro Sensei. He's very iconic. So, I mean, I can't wait to see Season 2. So tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.